All right. Hi, I'm John Swift, and we are out at HDM Smokers out here in Brookshire, and I am standing here with Paul Mata, the operating partner of the business, the man behind all of this excitement. Smokers, these guys got it, they understand it, they totally get it, and know how to do it. Paul, tell us about your product.
So we started in January, and we build offset smoker pits. And we start from 80 gallons all the way up to 1,000 gallon cookers. Now the 1,000 gallon cookers, obviously, John, you know, for your commercial cookers, your competition cookers. And if you just need to feed a lot of people, that's what that's for.
It's a monster.
But if you just want to feed yourself and your family and your friends, we have the cookers. Some people like to call them patio models. We like to call them your backyard smokers.
Yeah.
So we build those, and we do have options that you can do, customizations. Back here, what you see is a CNC table. We're actually able to cut a lot of our parts out of it, so it's consistent every time. And we also can do customizations. So if you want to name your pit, you want a special name or something on it, we could do that.
Yeah, the signage is very cool. And I know one of the things that we need to make note of about the pits that these guys build is they're all built to perfection. There's no corners cut. Whether you get a small pit, some really miniature pits that go on the back of your truck, we'll show you those later, or the big mama 1,000 gallon out there, the same quality goes into each and every pit, which is one thing I like about the things that you guys make.
Yes, sir. So we've taken the time to figure out what it takes to build a quality smoker.
Right.
We do that so that guys like yourself, you know, competition cookers, even your backyard people, so that you don't have to figure it out. You're not having to fight all those different elements with offset smokers that aren't getting the job done right.
Right.
You know, as everybody else knows, buying meat isn't cheap.
That's right.
So you don't want to waste a brisket on a bad cook.
Yeah,
right?
Not only the meat, the fuel. You don't
fuel.
want to spend a lot of money burning that sucker either. Every time you light it, it costs you a fortune, right?
That's right. Yeah. So we build the offset smokers two ways, traditionally, which is just your standard, what most people have been used to seeing for many, many years. And now what's gained a lot of traction are the insulated offset smokers. So this is a insulated firebox that actually maintains the temperature better, but it also helps lower your fuel costs because you burn a lot less fuel because you can hold it longer.
Yeah, now less fuel, we're talking 5, 6 sticks, feed one every once in a while. What are we talking?
Yeah, I mean, so as an example, if you normally on cooking a brisket, you go through, let's just say 15 to 20 sticks, right? We can probably bring you down something like 60%. You'll be burning a lot less. But the fact that the smokers that we build have a very thick wall. So at a very minimum, they're 1/4 inch. The large, big, like the King Daddy smokers, those are 3/8.
Yeah.
But that wall holds the temperature better. So every time you open it up and you got to check your meat or whatever you're doing, it's not taking very much longer because that wall is holding that temp. So when you close it, it gets right back up where it needs to be, right? So like they say, right, if you're looking, you ain't cooking.
That's right. I like that. All right, hey, we're going to take a look at how they accomplish this incredible feat of making these wonderful products that they make right here in Brookshire, Texas, and we're going to do that right now. All right, Paul, let's take a look at this contraption you have here. Looks like some sort of plasma cutting machine. Tell us about it.
That's exactly that, John. So what we have here, this is a plasma table. It's a 4510 model from Lincoln Electric, Torchmate. Now these are built in Mesa, Arizona. So they are all assembled and made here in the United States. Now what these tables can do is we can cut sheet plate up to 3/4 inch steel with this particular plasma that's connected to this machine, but we can cut them 5x10 sheets. It is on a water table. The reason we went this direction with a water table is it does trap all that extra fumes, the smoke. It keeps the shop a lot cleaner. We're in a small space, so we try to keep it as clean as possible, as neat and as tidy. That provides for a lot better work environment, as well as we can work faster when it's like that. So what we're going to do today, I am testing out some new parts for the smoker pit that we're going to be building. And I typically run some test cuts on some scrap metal that we have. And then when we go from there, then we can ramp it up to production and then just cut out. So the beauty with this machine is we put in there, we nest the job, and we just say we want 20 or 30 of these, and it'll just do it.
That's
and
incredible.
it does it in a fraction of the time that it would
Which
take us.
is awesome. I can hardly wait to see that. And we're going to get some video of this as well. One thing I want to point out, all of the pits, the exterior sides of the pits are made, they're all 1/4 inch, right?
That's correct, 1/4 inch steel.
Which is heavy duty on pits. It's going to last you forever. They build them for a lifetime. These parts here he was talking about, a little thinner gauge, was the hinges and stuff like that they use to operate the pits. So anyway, all that to do, we're going to start this sucker up and see what it can do.
So typically what we do, John, right here is on certain runs, we start off with a dry run. If you notice, there's a laser pointing on the table right now, and that's indicating exactly where the plasma torch is going to start cutting. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and run a dry run, and then you'll see this is exactly what it's going to do. The reason we do this is to make sure that wherever it's cutting, it's going to be on a piece of steel and not shooting into the water or cutting into another part.
Makes good sense.
Okay. If we take the laser off, then we can actually do another dry run that brings it down to the table, and you'll actually see what it does as far as the processes go. Now it touches, and what it does what's called an ohmic sensing touch. It's sensing where the material is at so that it knows where it has to come up. There's a cut height, there's a pierce height, there's a feed rate, and there's a pierce delay as well. All those things go into account when that ohmic sensor touches that steel. So you can see just how technologically advanced it really is. You know, it takes what has been a manual labor job in figuring out things to a point where now we're using technology to help us cut and move forward on these pits. So that's the reason why we can build them at the quality we can build them and at a speed.
Yeah, well, can I pick up this door right here?
Go ahead.
I assume that is, and you just look at the edge on that thing. I mean, it's perfect. It's rounded perfectly. You can't get any better than that. These plasma cutters are incredible, incredible.
So right now we're going to run an active run. Let me just check my parameters one more time. Pop that little center out.
So now we have a hinge.
So this is the hinge right here, John, that comes off of there. You'll see if you look, it's a little wet, but it's all right. That's that water table that helps it, but you can see that it's relatively cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's not hot at all.
It's very cool, and that kind of surprised me when I saw him. He had the gloves, and then he handed it to you, and I was like, oh, that's going to hurt.
And so that's one of the things that also adds up to production time.
Yeah.
If I can't handle the material quick enough, it's just going to sit there and I have to wait till it cools off.
Yeah, yeah.
So with a table like this, we're able to handle it as soon as it's done cutting.
It's incredible.
Those two pieces right there, John, had an elapsed time of 47 seconds.
Wow. Wow.
If I was to even try to remotely cut something like this by hand, there's no way I'd get this edge. There's no way that I'd be able to do this one after the other, after the other, after the other in the time that it does.
Sure.
So this allows us to ramp up that production, like I said before, the quality of the work, the welds, when we put things together. You know that if you buy a pit and then your friend wants to buy a pit, you can't come back and say, well, man, how come yours is better than mine?
Right.
Or how come it looks like this? They're going to be identical.
Yeah, folks,
Right.
I mean, we're talking about a hinge. Imagine what goes into everything else. This is just a hinge.
Yeah. And I'll show you what this hinge does. This hinge is not just a regular hinge, it actually even has a built-in stop.
Okay.
So when you go and we put a solid round in here, and it flips back, it actually, when it comes back to the backside, this hinge stops on the outside of the wall of that cook chamber, and this is what holds your door.
Nice.
So rather than have all these little separate pieces or something else that's separate to hold your door, this right here is built in. On our large 1,000 gallon cooker, it has a built-in hinge, a stop, as well as a counterweight.
Yeah. So your counterbalance on your doors is not going to be laying on the pit. It's just going to probably be sitting there free floating, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, hey, this is exciting stuff, man. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Did
No,
you
you're
have
good.
something?
You're
But this is, again, just a part of what makes these pits so great. So we're going to learn a lot more as we go through this process. We've got an event coming up, and these guys were kind enough to let us use one of their pits at our event. Actually, it's going to be 120 gallons.
It's 120 gallons.
We're so stoked about this. This is going to be fun. Willow Creek Farms having a barbecue cook-off, and we are going to be participating. And you guys are going to be out there with us. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're going to take you through every step of the process that we can, and we'll even take you out there and show you the pit in action, which is going to be fun too.
Oh yeah, it is.
All right.
It is.
Well, hey, we're looking forward to it. Thank
Yes,
you
sir,
so much
John.
for your time.
Yeah, appreciate you.
And
We'll
we
be
will
seeing
talk
you
to you
again.
again soon.
Yep.
All right, bud. All right, Paul, so this is another exciting part of what you guys are working on for us. We got the axles, and I have to show these to you because these axles are incredible. I mean, I'm going to let Paul talk about it because they're just beyond anything I can talk about. They're so massive.
Yeah. So this, I guess, essentially is the foundation, right, of our Rouse cookers.
Right.
And Brandon put these axles together the other day. And what we do is we actually use the spindles as well as hubs that you would find like on golf carts. So we do call this an off-road package.
Yeah.
These are on ball bearings, so they float really smooth. The pipe that we use, this is a 2-inch pipe, Schedule 40. What that means, so that you understand that, is that your Schedule 40 is a very thick-walled pipe.
Okay.
I mean, there ain't nothing. I mean, I've probably seen trucks with smaller axles than these.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we have a rear one, and the rear one, it goes welded straight up to the back of the firebox, right?
Okay.
We put that on there.
Okay.
And then let me show you something. This is another touch that we do. When we cut these square tubing, we also cope them. Coping them is when you cut them to follow the radius of the pipe.
Okay.
Again, the reason you want to do that is the closer your steel is to every piece of steel that you're joining, and then this is what's called your filler metal, the better quality it is. Less intrusion for water, for rusting, for stuff to get trapped into. So we cope them. We cope this. This is the rear axle. The front axle is also coped as well.
Just a massive piece, and it's got some weight to it, trust me.
Yeah, I mean, the smoker pit overall, when it's complete, the one that y'all guys are getting, we're going to be adding about an extra 100 and so pounds to it because we're going a little bit larger than your standard 80. It's going to the 120. You're probably looking at somewhere about 1,200 pounds.
Wow.
But one of the things that you're going to notice, John, is that when you pull that smoker pit with that wagon handle on these type of tires, it doesn't feel like you're pulling 1,200 pounds. Now, there's some mass to it.
Yeah.
So you're going to need a little torque to get it
so,
moving.
So what you're saying is I'm going to look pretty good.
But you're going to be cooking some meat. You're going to need all that protein, man, to start moving
man.
it.
That's
but
awesome.
once it starts moving, once you start getting that mass rolling, it's easy. I mean, we run it almost every day to the corner of the yard here at our shop. And we're on a gravel yard with dirt and some grass.
Yeah.
And
It's a little bumpy out there. Yeah.
a little bumpy, but we get it across, right? And so just starting with this, we're already building them heavy duty.
Yeah,
I mean, we're
absolutely.
HDM smokers, so we like to tag ourselves as heavy duty meat smokers.
Yeah. I like that.
If that's what
good.
you want, then that's what you're going to get.
Yeah. From the ground up. I mean, I can't even begin to brag any more than I already have about these guys. They build a wonderful product, and you're going to see that as we go through.
Absolutely.